Hi guys, it's Hump Day lesson day. Love you guys. Still rock and roll. Lesson time. I feel like doing lessons on weird music today. I want to discuss two different topics. First of all, I want to discuss how to sound like Alan Holdsworth, or at least how I try to sound like Alan Holdsworth, and also 12-tone row music, atonal music, and serial composition. So let's get into it. Thanks for joining me if you have. Appreciate it. So first of all, let me just say that my approach to playing like Alan Holdsworth, there's two sections to that. There's the chords and there's the lead. I'm gonna do the lead first. I mean, I'm not even sure I'm gonna get to the chords today, but at least I'm gonna start with the leads, and I'll definitely try to throw in 12-tone rows. We'll see if I get to the chords of Alan Holdsworth. Trying to play chords like Alan Holdsworth. Let's focus on leads, Alan Holdsworth. Here's my approach. I've learned all Mozart's theory. That amounts to major scale in all 12 keys and harmonic minor scale in all 12 keys. And visualizing that, seeing that in my head. You can see me play it, all the scales and all the positions. Now, what I did to try to play like Alan Holdsworth is say, now play knowing that, but don't play in any one key for any length of time. Just go from key to key to key, and don't stay in one key long enough to even stand there very long. And see if it sounds like Alan Holdsworth, and that was my approach. So this is my approach. So let me show examples of that. Maybe I'll shout it out as I play it so you can hear me think out loud as I play. All right, so let's say I'm trying to sound like Alan Holdsworth, and this might be what I'm talking might be going through in my head. G minor. In other words, what would Mozart not do? No Mozart's theories, and then just don't do that. Don't do anything in one key for very long. And that's just my approach to trying to play like Alan Holdsworth. I don't stay in any one key long enough to stay there. In one given moment, I might be thinking I'm in a certain key, but I go to a different one before I even hold it there. And then you can do the same thing with tapping. Let's do some tappings with Alan Holdsworth style. It's like do whatever you would do if you were trying to sound like Mozart. negative approach in the sense it's what not to do, not so much what to do. It's not so much what you play, it's what you're deliberately not playing. More this defines the approach. Anyway, that's my approach, and it's a brief demonstration of that. Now, before I go into chord development, if I do that this time, let's go into 12-tone rows. Trying to make 12-tone rows. The idea is you have to play, once you play a note, you can't play that note until you played all the other 11 and so on. So every note gets played only once per row, and there's 12 notes in each row. So the trick is two tricks. First of all, to make it sound good, and second of all, to remember what you played so you don't play the same note again or leave any notes out as well. My approach is I use two whole tone scales in my mind. Let's say I start on the low E string, I think of the open E, second fret, fourth fret, 6, 8, 10, and 12. You're never going to play 12. You don't play 12. You play 12 and 0 at the same ref because that's will be the same note. Just an octave apart, which is the same pitch class. So think of that whole tone scale and visualize it, and then think of the whole tone scale that's on F, the half step above the E. You would have. So there you have it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and remember those, and try to separate it like that, and then try to remember what you played within that, and don't repeat it. So I'm going to try to do some 12-tone rows. Or at least, yeah, let me try to do some 12-tone rows type music and see what happens. I may play one tone row, 12-tone row, then go to a different one. The idea is let me play a tone row, 12-tone row, then play another one, and maybe do it a couple times and see if you guys think I can do this. Here we go. Love you guys. It's not easy to do that, but you can always go back and see how you think I did. Of course, I'm not doing it perfectly, but it's really hard to do it, you know? approach. I'm taking a symmetrical pattern and only doing it so many times to fill the octave. So if I'm doing augmented triads, I have 4 of them and just play the 3 augmented triads without repeating notes. Or diminished steps. Brilliant, but at least it gets the job done, and you're doing 12 tone rows pretty quickly that way. I think that's interesting. I like music like that. Anyway, 12 tone music. Now for the chords of Allen Holdsworth. I don't use I use what they call, or what I might call, non-related root movement chords. In other words, not non-tonally, non-functional root movement chords. The chords don't function in a key. They just serve a sound in and of themselves. It's just a sound you hear right now. Then you go to another chord that's not even related, not in the same key and not related to it necessarily. You just play the beauty of the chord as you hear it, and then try to make it sound good. What else do you want to do? But you have to know a few chords. And so I'll show you some of my favorites, especially if I want to get the Allen Holdsworth sound. I like some of his chords. Here's an E major 7. Another E major 7. Sorry about that. E major 7. As this was. G major 7. C major 7. Major 7. Here's one I like. It's called a D sharp. It's called a D flat major 7 sharp 11. D flat major 7 sharp 11. Hard to get your fingers around, huh? Around a little bit. There's wide position major scales, wide position major triads. then there's I was gonna say something. Then there's major seventh, other major seventh and minor seventh things. Major seventh, major seventh chords, right, and then this one, and switch back and forth. With the string in between, that's kind of a rhyme. Tap it if you want. Another, because I said a string, same idea. There's all kinds of things you can just play around with it, you know. You know, there's no real rule. You just have to know a few voicings. Move it around. I hope you guys enjoyed the lesson. You know, strange music, but you know, in times where a lot of things have already been done, strange is good. Love you guys. Peace, love, and rock and roll.